In this video, we'll be doing a transmission fluid and filter change on a BMW 3 Series. It'll hold true for many of the BMWs that have the GM transmission, not the ZF transmission. And this is part of a series of videos of me trying to save this BMW from heading to the junkyard. Doing this service is pretty easy to do on your own, so let's get started. Now this is how I found the car, but once I got it up and running, I scanned and found many codes, one of which is the transmission fluid needing to be changed. And it's a really simple job, we're going to do it now. Like I said, this is for the GM transmission. If you look underneath your car and you have a black plastic pan, this is not for you. Doing this is actually pretty simple. There's about 17 10mm bolts that hold this pan in place. Before we get started, I'll take a wire brush and just clean them all off. First, we need to remove the bracket that goes between the transfer case and the exhaust system. They're held on by 4 E-Torx bolts. I'll put a link below to this little set. You will need these if you're going to do any work on a BMW. The ones that are closer to the transmission pan are harder to get to, but you can use a little 8mm open-end wrench to undo them. You don't have to take both of them off. You can leave the far right one on and just take off the third one, and you're able to swing this thing completely out of the way. I should point out I have a lift which makes this job super easy, but it can be done with jack stands. You just need to make sure all 4 stands are in place. You cannot do this when it's on ramps because you need this transmission to be perfectly level. With the bracket out of the way, you have access to the fill plug, and the golden rule of transmission service is make sure you can get that out first. So you need a 17mm wrench. You get up there, just break it free, make sure it can come undone, and then work your way down to the drain plug. You'll need a hex head socket for this, and you want to make sure you get any crud out of that hole there. And I'm even going to tap it in a little bit to make sure it's fully seated. Break it free by hand first before you use it any power tool. Make sure you have a drain pan ready to catch the fluid. By the looks of this fluid here, you can see why it was calling for a change. As the fluid is draining out, we're going to go around and break free all of these 10mm bolts by hand. You can continue by hand, but once they're all loose, you can back them out with a power tool. There will be some fluid that just doesn't make it out of that drain hole, so what I suggest to do here is leave one bolt in towards the front of the vehicle, take out all the rest of the bolts, and then carefully break that free and let it tilt down a little bit. Don't let it drop so you don't end up risking bending the flange of that pan. Hold it, but let it drop and make sure you can get out any residual fluid that's there. Once it's drained enough, pick it back up, take out that last screw, and drop this pan. With the pan open, let that drip for a while. Get as much fluid out of the way as possible to avoid making a mess. After that, you want to come up and pull down on this filter. The filter is just pressed in, so you just need a little tug straight downward and it'll pop out. Let that continue to drain while you turn your attention to the pan. Remove the old gasket. They are rubber, so it should be pretty easy to come out. Then go ahead and drain whatever's left here and start to clean it up. You want to inspect this to see if you have any excessive amounts of little pieces of metal or excessive friction material. Surprisingly, this pan doesn't look that bad. You want to inspect and clean off the magnet and then put it back in place. The next part is arguably the most challenging part of this job. I wasn't able to get it on film, but the steps are pretty simple. There is a seal that you'll need to replace. You should replace it. It comes with your filter kit. It is rubber and has a ring of metal around it. I see other people, what they do is they take a screwdriver, put it in there, tap the edge of it to bend it out of the way. It looks like this, and then it can pull it out. I'm not comfortable doing that. There are tools for this, but there's a hack. You can take 3/4 pipe like this, plastic. The threads will bite just enough to be able to pull that out. You could actually make a T-tool and even use a metal bushing to act as a slide hammer to pop this thing out. The new one installs easily also. There is a tool for it, but if you don't have it, you can just use a socket that is the same diameter and press it into place. With the seal installed, you can press in the new filter. The tube here has these little plastic fins that'll act as a stop. So once you push this into that gasket, those fins will stop you right where you're supposed to be. And as long as your filter is squared up within that case, you'll be good to go. Next, we want to prep these mating surfaces. Go ahead and get some brake clean and some synthetic steel wool, some Scotch-Brite, and work your way around this entire surface here. Make sure it's nice and clean. While you have the Scotch-Brite and the brake clean in hand, turn your attention back to that pan and clean that up all the way around, inside and out. I should note, besides the filter and the gasket and that seal, when doing this service, you really should be replacing also the fill plug and the drain plug. I'm not doing this here. Like I said, this is a series of me trying to revive this car for the lowest prices possible. So I'm just doing the filter and the gasket. But I will refresh my bolts. And it's a good idea if you're going to be working on cars, pick yourself up one of these little ultrasonic cleaners. They're really cheap. And I'm just going to refresh all the bolts that I have, put them back in, they'll be nice and clean. We're just about ready to put this pan back into the car, but before we do that, we need to install the new gasket. It's a simple process that you actually can't screw it up. There is a little nub, a little dowel, if you will, that you will use to align the gasket properly. So there's only one way you can get this on there. Set that in place and head over to the car. But before doing that, get your fluid ready. I'm using one of these pumps. They're really cheap and they're great to have if you're going to do any kind of service like this. Make the work easy. Also, this set of different nozzles or tips for all different kind of transmissions. I'll put a link to that below. It's cheap and that'll just make the job go by so much easier. This fluid here is usable here for this car. It does call for BMW's own type fluid, but this here is compatible. You can check the label on it. I've used this for many BMWs and it's always been fine. I'll put a link to this cleaner below. It's well worth it. And they may not look like it, but these bolts have come out a lot cleaner than they were to begin with. Press the pan back into place and thread the bolts by hand. You can zip them up with a powered tool, but not too tight, just enough that they're snug. Then come back in with your torque wrench. You want to set that to 10 Newton meters, and you want to tighten this in a crisscross pattern all the way around. And now we get to the most critical part of this job, which is refilling properly. The way we do that, undo your fill plug and start to pump your fluid in there. If you have a smaller manual pump with just a hose, get that in there and start pumping. For me, I've got this tool, so I have the appropriate nozzle set up. I'm putting some pressure into that canister, and then once I open this valve, you'll see the fluid start to flow in. You want to do that until you start to see it trickle out just a tiny bit. Then we're going to close that cap up, and we're going to get up there and start the car. We want the car running for a while for this fluid to get up to operating temperature. And for this car, it's going to be between 86 and about 120 degrees. If you have a scanner, you can keep tabs of that so you know exactly when to go down there and top off. Otherwise, letting your car idle for about 15 or 20 minutes should do the trick. While the car is running, go ahead and cycle through your gears, first, second, reverse. Do it a few times so just get those valve bodies open and closed and get that fluid flowing through. Once you've reached operating temp, you can go back down and top off. For me, I waited until I hit about 91 degrees. Then I went down, removed the filler plug, topped off until I saw that fluid dripping out. Once the trickle stops and it's just down to a drop every once in a while, close up that filler plug. One important note, leave the car running while you're doing this step. Do not turn the car off while trying to top off. Next, reassemble this bracket by swinging it upwards and reattaching the 4 bolts. A scanner will come in handy for the last part, and that's resetting this service interval notice. It's not just about the code that was triggered, but it's also about the light that's on your dash to let you know you need the service. If you don't have a scanner, you can do this just through your instrument cluster. There's some videos out there to show you how to do that. In my case, I reset this service and then I rescanned my car to see that I was good here. But there's more issues to deal with. Like this one here, which is going to require the replacing of all 4 ABS sensors. You can click the link on the screen for that video next.